Creative Brain Candy by creators for creators.
Welcome to Cigars and Coffee, Simply Stogies production. So yeah, just changed the title of the show. It's Simply Stogies presents Cigars and Coffee.
I like it.
Yeah, I thought you might. I'm one of your hosts, James. This is Tim.
Hello.
And this is the episode nobody asked for, nobody wanted, but you're getting it anyway.
None of us want to do this.
It's the Starbucks coffee episode.
Mm-hmm. Enjoy that. Did you in fact get...
Tastes like burning.
Did you get... What is that called?
This is just
the Great Pike Place.
So, take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll email you today or tomorrow. Talking to the Perdomo rep about the trade show, which is now long past.
Yeah.
We had a great time. I hope you enjoyed all of the great content that we hopefully put out. Hopefully. Maybe.
This episode can never air if we don't put anything out.
If we just go there.
Yeah, we just go there.
Fuck around for a week. Today, it's a Starbucks episode. We're drinking Starbucks coffee.
See, I'm regretting this decision right now. We did the Starbucks coffee, and then we're going to pair it with what I believe is going to be a phenomenal cigar.
The Crown Heads 4 Kicks Capa Especial Limited Edition 2021, which I picked up a box of today.
It still hurts.
It does. So here's the thing. We walked into the humidor this morning. I'll tell you the story. Walked into the humidor today, saw a box. There were only 2 left. I grabbed one. He grabbed one. And then he just happened to pick the box up to see if there was one underneath it. And sure enough. There's one underneath it.
Yeah.
So he's like, yoink, I'm gonna buy it. I'm like, all right, cool. And then he didn't. And so I picked it up.
I passed on it only because I knew that if it wasn't going to go to my home, it was going to go to your home. One of us was going to walk out of here today with that box.
And it was me.
Yeah.
I am the victor. I am the winner. Congratulations to me and to me smoking all 12 of them.
No, that will not happen. I know where he lives, and I can find no more.
I'm going to guess he's going to get some. Although I did bring you your birthday present today. We didn't even talk about that.
No.
I finally brought his birthday present.
Yeah.
Which happened 3 weeks ago.
I'm glad you kept them in your humidor. My birthday was last quarter. Yeah. Well, 2 quarters ago by the time this episode comes out.
Holy shit. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I am terrible person. So I'll also explain to you how I went through the Starbucks drive-thru to get these. But before we do, make sure you go to creativebraincandy.com and check out the great family of podcasts that we have there if you're into podcasts, including the Video Game Lounge, a brand new podcast on the, it's not brand new anymore, on the Creative Brain Candy network.
Yeah.
The Video Game Lounge is from 3 older guys. I don't want to say old guys. They're not my age.
Right.
But they're older guys, and they don't talk about news or anything. They talk about the nostalgia that goes along with video games and what they're playing and some of their thoughts on the industry and what's going on. So check them out. The Video Game Lounge, creativebraincandy.com.
And I think every podcast is more interesting when there's booze involved.
Yeah, they drink a lot. Yeah. I have been known. I think the last time I drank on a podcast, I drank an entire bottle of rum.
Ooh.
Yeah. I tend not to drink and podcast anymore.
Yeah, it's not a very good idea.
No.
If you catch an episode in the news of Ice Forward March, you know why you don't drink.
Yeah,
podcast.
Sergeant Bacon may have been a little overcooked.
Yeah,
which was how you put it in the show notes.
Yeah, that was a little overcooked. I might have been a little burnt.
A little infused.
Yeah, infused. That was the word. Yeah, I thought that was clever.
Sergeant Cigar, a little infused. Check them out. Ice Forward March. CreativeBrainCandy.com. While you're on the internet, if you like what you see, if you're watching us every couple of weeks, you like the content that we're putting out, go to buymeacoffee.com/Simply Stogies podcast and become a Buy Me a Coffee supporter. It's with your help that we're able to go to all of these places like the PCA trade show that we were just at. And then next month, I'm going to the Brew City Cigar Fest in Milwaukee, and I'm going to the Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest in Denver or Bloomfield.
It's going to be busy times.
Busy times. We are in the dog days of summer. It's August now. No, is it August? I don't even remember.
I believe so.
It might still be July. I don't remember when this episode's releasing.
Yeah, well, we're in the summer. We know that much.
24th of July.
Yeah. Is that what today?
No, yeah.
No, today's 23rd.
Of June. This releases
passcode.
The 24th of July, which, by the way, I just bought a smartwatch.
Did you?
Yeah. It's not here yet.
Did it help you at all? Oh, it's not here yet. Oh.
No, there's nothing with the word smart in front of it that will help me. So now that all the shilling is done, hit the like and subscribe button below. Hit that bell if you want notifications when we release a new video. I'll tell you about how I ordered my coffee black when I went through the drive-thru, because everybody knows I don't put anything in my coffee. Now, what did you get, Tim?
You got me the caramel macchiato. Yeah, because
Carmelicious.
It's not Carmelicious.
I asked for a Carmelicious, and they were like, "We don't. Would you just like a caramel macchiato, sir?" I'm like, I don't know. It's for somebody who doesn't like girls. They're like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, so tell us a little bit about how painful it was. I wouldn't. I would not. I do not care. This is let's just name this Simply Stogies present Cigars and Coffee. By far the worst episode yet.
By far the worst episode yet. Yeah, so they actually have something now on their drive-thru menu that says just brewed hot coffee, and then you pick the roast, light, medium, or dark.
Okay. I guess that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's for the barista that can't figure out
how to spell your name.
Which they spelled my name
They
right.
did. I was totally expecting it to be like Y-A-M-S or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't fuck it up. But they gave me the Great Pike Place. I don't know. I got the medium. I don't know what that's called. I said large and medium because I refused to use their stupid words.
Yeah.
Like venti. Just say large.
It doesn't even mean large.
What's it mean?
Venti is 20. It's a 20-ounce coffee.
Tastes like burnt.
Yeah.
It tastes like burnt.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a medium roast. Tastes like burnt. There's no flavor there other than burnt.
No. And I don't know what last time I don't even remember the last time that I got a coffee from Starbucks, but it was just a straight brew, black coffee. And I had to explain in the drive-thru for like 5 minutes exactly what a black coffee was. Like they did not get it. And I'm like, okay, you know how like when you make anything on your menu, stop after step 1. It's all you got to do is after you complete step 1, put a lid on it, misspell my name, and hand it to me through the drive-thru window.
How do they misspell Tim?
Who knows?
I'm trying to pick up flavor notes.
Yeah, there's
from
not.
This, and there's not. It's just burnt.
A caramel macchiato is like I think it's like their espresso with some caramel, some vanilla, some whipped cream, and really all I can taste is whipped cream and sugar. It's basically like if whipped cream was an animal, it's pretty much just shitting in my mouth. That's pretty much what's happening.
Well, that's gross.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I got 20 ounces.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Anyway, did we mention where we're at? I mean, I'm sure that everybody can see where we're at.
Yeah, we're at David's Fine Tobaccos, 9759 University Avenue, Clive, Iowa, West Des Moines.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the Iowa area, when you're in the Des Moines area, this is the shop to go to. They actually have, as a lot of the shops that we go to now have, they have a Simply Stogies 5-pack.
This one's my favorite.
If you watched the episode 2 weeks ago, you know what's in it, but I'll remind you, it's the La Aroma de Cuba Robusto. It is the Perdomo Champagne 10th Anniversary Robusto, which we smoked on the last episode. An Arturo Fuente short story. The Tatawane Havana 6 Nobles, and the Padron Damaso number 15, the Toro. This is $60. $60 shipped to you.
Good deal.
Just give them a call at 515-278-8701. That's 515-278-8701 as I look down at my notes, which I don't have any. It's just on a little card here.
Oh, clever. I had it up on my screen here. So I was.
Were you wondering how I was doing that?
Mm-hmm. I was like, damn, you good.
Memory. No, it's here on the card, which the card is an advertisement. If you're going to be in the Des Moines area on Thursday, September 2nd, they're going to have another steak dinner. Or it might, I don't know if it'll be a steak dinner. I think he was talking about maybe prime rib.
That has not been determined what the main course will be.
Prime rib.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed the last one. There was a family emergency.
Clear my schedule.
But I was able to, Tim grabbed the swag for me, the cigars, which included a kintsugi.
Yeah.
Which I've already smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate that.
Good cigar.
But yes, this will be at the Embassy Club West.
Which is you haven't been there,
No.
but
Is it fancy?
It's really nice.
Is it
really,
ritzy? So I wouldn't fit in?
Anybody will fit in. You can even wear blue jeans and that Guyabera. Anybody will fit in.
That's what I'm wearing today. Maybe I'll wear that on the second. Might be. I don't know. We'll see.
Hopefully by then we get something that's actually simply Stogies branded. Speaking of which, I just checked. My T-shirts are delivered. They are at my house now.
Oh, congratulations.
Yay!
You can go to simplystogies.com. Check out all the greatest and latest content that we have there. I'm not sure what's out there yet, but I know there's new reviews all the time, cigar reviews. The podcast, you can watch there as well.
Yeah.
And you can also buy merch. Click the store button at the bottom and go buy some merch. Another way that you can help support small podcasts like Simply Stogies Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can follow us on Instagram at Simply Stogies Podcast, on Twitter.
And that's
at
a show,
Stogies,
folks.
And that's it. Yeah. No, go check it out. I just did. I know, time travel. This was a while ago now. But we just did the 1,000 giveaway, 1,000 followers on Instagram giveaway, which was fantastic. Gathered a lot of new followers. So if you're watching this, you're a new follower. Thank you. Appreciate it. Got Tim some followers because he didn't really have a whole lot. How many? I was happy with. Now?
Shoot. I think I'm around 260 followers. I know that's a big number, but 260, that's almost. I think if I hit 293, 294, you've just doubled my followers. And they're probably going to spite you for that because...
Well, they'll probably just unfollow you.
Yeah, that's probably what'll happen.
They'll probably unfollow me too. But.
My Instagram followers is kind of like a roller coaster. It's up. It's down.
Yeah, so check out the latest podcast, simplystogies.com with Nick Cirrus, Master Blender from LH Premium Cigars. I believe that's the latest one. And then we'll have one coming out hopefully from the trade show. If I can get that, or on the way back from the trade show. I'm going to be stopping at some B&Ms on the way back. I'm driving. So I'll take the long way. I'll go through Arizona, Texas, back up. I
really wish I could make that drive. I really do.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I love
by myself.
Yeah, I know, right? Nobody
Lugging
was
in
looking.
all the equipment.
No,
by myself.
I would much rather be on the road, travel, stopping at different brick and mortars, meeting new people. So much rather do that. But I have to get back before you're going to get back.
Lots and lots of hookers and blow.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not what your buy me a coffee dollars go for. No, they go for the travel. They go for all of the equipment. It's not.
There's just not enough coming in to cover the blow.
No. So I appreciate all of your support. And even if you're not giving me money and you're sitting here and you're watching this, I can apologize, but I'd rather just say thank you for watching. And I appreciate your support. So I want to talk about this 4 Kicks Capa Especial limited edition 2021. I talked to John Huber a couple of years ago. About the end of 2019 it was.
Yep, episode 17, I believe.
Yeah, it was a great episode. It was a great conversation with him. And he was very generous with his time, and I'm hoping that we got to talk to him at the trade show. So look for that on our social media, and we'll probably put something up on the website. So all of those are there in perpetuity. As soon as I talked with Tim about putting a page up there called PCA 2021. But yeah, so I talked to him about all of the LEs, all of the limited editions that have been coming out. And in 2019, people were still afraid of substantial equivalence and what that meant for the industry, which there's a new bill that was just put out that is trying to get the FDA out of the cigar industry.
Right.
Will that happen? Probably not. I hope it happens. Probably not. Does there need to be regulation in the cigar industry?
Right. I mean, some. Maybe.
But what's that oversight look like? If there's
that's a question for a big boy, not this guy.
If there's going to be regulation in the cigar industry, which I think we all agree there probably needs to be some level of regulation. I'm not a big government guy. I would rather just everybody figured out the free market will determine what's going to last and what isn't. I'm that guy, more of a libertarian stance. Yeah. I don't need the government to tell me what I should and shouldn't do.
I'd prefer that they didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't legislate my bedroom. Don't legislate my humidor. don't legislate my coffee. But at the same time, I don't want to drink.
Is your humidor going to go down to the bottom of the lake as well?
Yes, it is. Along with my guns. I wish they'd regulate Starbucks, but only because it's
send them back to France or wherever the hell they came from.
Terrible Seattle. I believe they were started in Seattle.
I don't want to do research on the fly, but I don't, maybe that's where it started in the US, but I don't think they're a US company.
Because here's the thing. We don't want dangerous products, whether it's coffee or cigars. We don't want dangerous products. I don't want to drink, which you can. I know it's out there. You can drink coffee that has been digested.
Oh yeah.
By a cat.
Is it a cat or is it a monkey?
I don't know.
I think it's a monkey of some sort.
Whatever. I figured if it was a cat, you'd be all over that. But yeah, you would.
I mean, try almost anything once.
Gross. So I think that there needs to be some level of regulation for sure, but substantial equivalence. So anyway, back in 2019, this is what conversation was about. And yeah, some of the LEs that we saw, because there were a lot, and there's still a lot.
There's still a lot, yeah.
That came out around that time were due to fears that if they didn't get a blend out, that blend would never see the light of day.
Yeah, it'd never come to market.
So they were getting as much out as they could in as little time as they could, and that was the result. But part of the conversation went to, it's also the market's fault, because the market loves an LE. Loves an LE.
Yeah. But why? What do you think contributed to the market liking the LEs? I mean, for me, it was just, this is the only time I'm ever going to be able to get my hands on it. I got to get it. And then I smoke one or two, and then it just sits around because I don't want to run out because I'll never be able to get more.
And that's part of the problem. Like, for example, with the Castagli Origins that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I have 6 left. I gave you one. I have 6 left.
And I only have one, so I'll never smoke it.
If I smoke those, I'll never have them again. Or the odds of me getting them are slim to none.
Right.
The Davidoff Art Edition 2016, one of my favorite cigars of all time. Not my favorite cigar of all time, but what's in the top 3, probably. Once those are gone, they're gone. But every time I smoke one now, if I'm smoking them a year apart, they're not the same as they were.
No.
There's definitely a point of diminishing returns. So with these LEs, the market, I think it's honestly, like, look, we all know that cigar guys and gals love their swag. And they love to, a term that I learned on an online forum, they love to waggle their cigars and say,
Look what I got.
Look what I got.
Yep,
I got something
stick.
that you don't, and I'm smoking it, and it's amazing. And everybody loves that. And so I think that might contribute to part of it. But at some point, and I'm not sure when it was, I think it was probably around 2019, I think the industry's jumped the shark with it. I really do. I think there's too many LEs. John Huber, during that conversation, if you go back and listen to it, episode 17, you said, he talks a lot about smoke my core blends, smoke my Headley Grange.
Which are all amazing products.
They're great. I love the Headley Grange. I think the Headley Grange is fantastic. The regular 4 kicks, the regular production 4 kicks is fantastic. It's good. So do you have to go after these LEs? I say no, as I sit here with a box of Capa Especial limited editions, but I like the Capa Especial.
It's a good cigar. I mean, and there's the only LEs that I'm really into is the Crowned Head stuff. Like, I think that just about everything that Crowned Heads touches is awesome. It's smokable. It's good. I'll enjoy it today. I'll enjoy it next year.
How's that Mother Church?
Well, that's what I said. Almost everything. But again, you know what? To be honest with you, that's actually a question that I would want to ask, and I don't think I will because it's just kind of rude. But
kind of rude.
Yeah. How much did you really touch that? Because nothing other than.
But I mean, is everything a winner?
No. Absolutely not.
Davidoff, not everything's a winner. Like, you look at the Traveler, the 2019 Traveler, the limited edition Winston Churchill, that was exorbitant. It was over $300 for a box of 10, and they're not great even after a couple of years of rest. They're just not. They're not great. They're okay, but it's not what
the reality of it. I think the reality of it though is that somebody is going to say, you say that particular cigar is not bad. Somebody out there is going to say, no, that's one of the best. I mean, it's all subjective and to what you like.
It is all very subjective. And I think we've talked about that before. Taste is subjective. It's all very subjective. But good is good, which is interesting because I've been going through this book, Cigar Bliss, The Art of Demystifying Taste.
Is that
Nick Kutro?
You got a paperback or hardcover?
It's a paperback.
Paperback?
It's like a $35 book.
Yeah, when you're done, you should let me borrow it. I'll try to read it. Does it have pictures?
It does have pictures.
Okay, that'll help.
But it talks about palate and it talks about flavor. Because here's the thing. When you're talking about the FDA, when you're talking about whoever, like I was sitting down with Lucas Da Silva, the owner of Oxford Cigar Company, he has to be careful about how he markets a cigar on his website and the tasting notes and the flavors that he puts down, because the FDA will look at that and go, wait, how are you getting graham cracker out of this? How are you getting dried fruit out of this? Is it infused? How is it infused? Now we want to know the blend. Now we want to know what's inside it. And it's all natural. And so what Nick Kutro does, which I think everybody at the FDA should have to read this book, to be 100% honest with you.
Well, I mean,
it talks about how it's basically your brain is matrixing what you're tasting because it tries to make sense out of chaos.
Right. But I mean, I think when it comes to the FDA and other government organizations, they just try to cover as many avenues as possible with the least amount of work. So they're just going to say, they're just going to make it and say, well, if you're going to sit there and say you should experience graham cracker or milk chocolate, well, then it's got to be infused. It's got to be something. It's got to be a Swisher, and that's incorrect.
Both to the coffee and the Swisher.
Yeah, I can't even believe that. I'm surprised you haven't thrown it yet.
I'm not going to throw it. I'll power through for you, the viewer. You can live vicariously through my pain, so that you don't ever have to buy a Starbucks, because we just got done drinking some Janus coffee roasters, which was amazing.
Oh yeah,
I'll never go back to fast food coffee. I just won't. Max,
I mean, if I'm in a pinch, it's a pinch, right? But no, I'm not going to do it on purpose.
Maxwell House isn't bad.
Which, yeah, if you're
in a pinch, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And it pairs pretty well with some cigars. I know from experience.
Yeah. And this thing is this is the caramel macchiato. It is just so sweet. It doesn't even really taste like coffee. And it's making it really hard to pick anything up from this cigar. But I would say that instead of spending your $10 here, swing through a place like David's. So, yeah, no, I agree. I don't think, which by the way, this was only $8. $10 for the pair. For the coffees. Okay, $8. So it wasn't bad. But what I'm picking up from this, let's switch gears a little bit. What I'm picking up from this, like right off the bat, you get that spice. I think this is still a Sumatra wrapper. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. We didn't do any research on this. Zero research. Yeah. Consummate professionals, ladies and gentlemen. Consummate professionals. So there was a little bit of spice when you first light it up, and that goes away within the first inch, but it's very nice. I love it. Yeah, I did get the hay or the grass on the cold draw. Again, I'm picking up cedar. It's hard to you're right, because the coffee is super, super overpowering. Yeah. But it's smooth. There's some pepper on the retrohale. I like this cigar a lot. I know that if I could actually taste right now anything other than caramel sugar. Well, you haven't put your box away yet. There's still time for me to run with it. No, it's sitting right there by the bag. Very wood lots of cedar. Again, campfire, charred wood type of flavor. Yeah, a little bit of campfire. I get that. I get the pepper as long as I'm trying to retrohale. I'm not a pro. I'll have to find a book on it. It's smooth. I'll say that it's very smooth. It's a creamy smoke, which helps kind of counteract the coffee a little bit, because that coffee is just strong and stupid. I like this cigar. I like it a lot. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes with the LEs, when I get down to that final third, it's like, okay, these are going to need some rest. Right. Yeah. So we'll see where this one pans out as we go along.
So let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about cutting a cigar because I think that'll be fun.
Yeah. A hell of a lot more fun than this coffee.
Than the coffee, yeah. So this is a Torpedo Vitola. It's not quite a Bellicoso.
Nope.
But it's tapered on both ends, and that's typically the only time that I use a V cut.
Right, and I noticed that. Otherwise you always use straight cut, and I use V cut almost 100% of the time.
I'm a straight cut guy. If I'm in a pinch and I don't have my cutter, I have a punch on my keychain that I use, a Cigar punch.
You ever just bite it off? Just
No.
No?
No.
I've had to do that before where I had no cutters, no nothing, and you try to like just kind of like gnaw at the tip, bite it off, or you're using a key, you're trying to find something to poke little holes in it.
That's why I have the punch on my keychain, so that I never run into that.
I hate punch.
I don't have a lot of luck with punches.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is
Typically,
like 9 times out of 10.
I break the wrapper.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not proficient with it at all.
Yeah, I guess maybe I think somebody told me one time that you just got to get that tip nice and wet, and then
somebody said that to me too, and I'm like, I don't like to do that.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, it's not something that I enjoy doing. But when I have a Bellicoso or a Pyramid or a Torpedo Vitola, it's always a V cut for me. It's always a V cut. I just think it helps funnel the flavor the way that the blender intended it.
That's interesting. We talked about that a little bit. Yeah, maybe we didn't, but we talked about the cards, on the boxes in the humidor that tells you, what the genetic makeup, what makes this cigar. Would that be something that would be interesting? If the blender said, I recommend using a V cut or a straight cut, or
I wonder how many people, and we talked about this last time here at David's. I wonder how many people would actually do that, because not a lot of people get into the weeds with cigars. They don't. They come in.
No,
if
but I think it's something
they'll try it.
I think it's something that costs nothing more than a few extra seconds of time. That is just an added, like, hey, that's kind of neat that they do that.
But a lot of guys, like you said in the last episode, a lot of guys will not deviate from what kind of cigar they smoke, and a lot of guys won't deviate from how they cut the cigar. It's just part of the ritual. So if they're a straight cut guy, they're a straight cut guy. If they're a V cut guy, they're a V cut guy, and they're not going to change because everyone's palate's different. So the smoke hits the palate a little bit differently depending on the kind of cut you use. I just find the straight cut is the path of least resistance, and I don't really have to worry about it. And with some of these cutters, like the one that you won.
It was a Lotus Circle cut. It's right there.
There it is.
Yep. That's a really nice cutter.
It is a really nice cutter. However, if you can see it, it's starting to chip there where the wood grain is.
Yeah.
And I've been using this almost exclusively since you gave it to me.
Oh, nice.
So it's become my everyday cutter. So it's going to have some wear and tear.
Yeah.
But I like these that have, and I know a lot of people don't, that have the back on them on the inside, so you can't cut too far.
No, the only thing that I would say is that you're going to get with that, because it's got the back, you're going to get tobacco stuck in there, and that's going to eventually make it a little stiff and so forth, right?
Yeah, but you can clean your cutter.
You absolutely can, but I don't believe that a lot of people do.
Probably not.
I think a lot of people are like, I'm going to use this until it just doesn't seem to work right anymore, and then I'm just going to go buy a new one.
Because most of the time they're disposable. It just depends. I'm sure this was probably a $60, $70 cutter.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right.
That Calibri V cut was what, $80, $90?
No, not this one. This is just the single V, so these are like $30, $40.
Yeah, so they're not bad.
And
so
you can find them way cheaper too.
In a hobby where you're spending $200-$300 for a box of cigars, $40 is disposable income.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A lot of people, especially those new to the hobby, get the $10, $15 cutter, and they're fine with that until it breaks. They go buy another $10 or $15 cutter.
Well, and that's actually, I have a couple of Calibri lighters that I have purchased that are in the $100 range, and they're fantastic lighters. But I don't like to use them, one, because they cost so much money. I don't want to scratch them, wear them out, break them. And also because one of them is a triple flame, and I have to fill it twice a day sometimes. The ones that stand the test of times for lighters are like these little $4 or $5 lighters.
They really are. I like.
And if I lose it, I don't care.
I like the Cigar tactical.
I want one of those so bad.
Every day, and it has seen some use.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Might be able to see there. I mean, it's the black paint's rubbing off.
They make one that's like an olive green or coyote. That's the one I want. If I ever visit a shop and I see it on the shelf, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I dig the Cigar, but
I like the fact that has an actual. You can rest your cigar on it.
Yeah, it's got the cigar rest. Which
if I'm out on the golf course,
or on the boat or somewhere, you don't have the ashtray. You set your cigar down in a pinch. That works. But when we get back to cutters, when you cut yours today, the wrapper burst.
It did
a little bit, not badly.
And I'm not going to say that is the cigar's fault at all. I probably just
heavy-handed it.
Yeah, for sure. And it happens. It does.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Like I said, whenever I use a punch, it happens. Like almost every time I use a punch, it happens.
Yeah. I don't use a punch unless I have to.
Unless I absolutely have to, right. So I tend to do that. But
now, how does that cigar poker that you have, because it's it's a poker, not a punch. But did you have, because you've used it.
Oh, the select draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a punch, kind of.
Right, but instead of punching or boring a hole,
punching a big hole into it punches three small holes in it, and then you put as many holes in it as you need to open up.
Right,
and that one works pretty well.
Okay, so you didn't have the same problem that you would have with
at the beginning. There's a learning curve.
Okay,
it's like when you did this one, when you cut your Capa Especial today.
Yeah.
It burst.
Yeah,
you broke the wrapper. You broke the wrapper.
Yeah, it cracked.
When you said that happened, I used your V cutter because I didn't bring mine today, so I used yours, and I was
that'll
be
$4.53.
Right, exactly. I was very careful with how I cut the cigar. So I think if you take your time, no matter how you're cutting it, and you're making sure, because for example, the Le Finlam that I have, the Castagli branded cigar knife.
Oh yeah,
like. There's a learning curve with that. It is a steep learning curve. But once you get that, it is the smoothest cut ever. But you can go too deep if you're not paying attention, and then you get down into the shoulder, and then your cigar will just unravel. Right,
and every cigar has a cap, and as long as you don't cut below that cap, and you leave at least a ring of that cap, then your cigar should be fine. It shouldn't unravel. It shouldn't, but it can.
Might.
Shit happens.
Here's what I hate. And I don't know if we've talked about this on the show before or not. If we have, I apologize, but I'm going to talk about it again because it's a pet peeve of mine.
Well, this is free, so.
When I go online, when I go onto Instagram, when I go onto Twitter, when I go onto Facebook, and I see somebody who has cut their cigar and the wrapper breaks or it starts to unravel, or it tunnels, or it canoes, or there's any kind of issue that somebody would say is construction related, and they tag the company who made it and say, hey, what's going on? Why is your cigar doing this? Your cigar shouldn't do this. I spent X amount of money. And they expect the company to reimburse them or send them a free cigar. I hate that. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't be that guy.
Don't do that. Don't.
Look, it is a handmade product. It's premium,
100%
hand-rolled product. You're going to get some duds. And number one, they don't know how you've been taking care of it. They don't know how it's been humidified. They don't know what your setup is, and they don't know what the humidity outside is. Like, look, if you take a cigar from a controlled 65 or 70 or 65 whatever you're keeping yours at, and you take it outside in the dead of winter, in 30-degree weather with low humidity, it's going to burst.
Oh yeah, every time. Well, not every time, but most of the time. Yeah, you got to. That's why when you in the winter, we know this because of where we live. But even in the summertime, if I know I'm going to go outside or go into an area where the temperature is a dramatic difference, I'll take it out of the humidor and I'll let it sit for a little bit.
Dry box it.
Yeah. Yep. That dry box, right. And I seem to have less problems if I allow that time period to happen. Instead of bringing it from 62 or 65 degrees straight to 30, let it come from 60 to 50 to 40 to 30. And then you don't have as much to worry about.
And the inverse is true as well. If you take it from a 70, 65, 62, whatever, into 80, 90% humidity and it's 100 degrees outside, you're going to have the same problem. Dry box your cigar, even if it's just for an hour, just dry box your cigar. And you probably won't have nearly as many issues as you have been having.
Right.
But take the time when you're cutting it. Don't cut too deep. If you cut too deep, the cigar is going to unravel.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to take the time. And I know a lot of you out there know that, but if you're new to the hobby, like, just take your time, guys. Take your time. That's my biggest piece of advice is take your time.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy the ritual. Because it is. It's a ritual. We all enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't go too fast. All right. So I'm done.
Are you going to get off that soapbox?
I'll get off that soapbox.
I don't know if you have any room in your car for anything other than all your soapboxes.
I have so many soapboxes. So many soapboxes.
And I never use one more than once.
How's that caramel macchiato treat?
It's just sugar. That's all it is pure sugar. There's a hint of coffee in there somewhere, but they might have, like, when they were making your coffee, some fell in. I don't know. What were you talking about earlier? You were like, I'm just going to get you strawberry shake and whipped cream and say, here's your coffee. Yeah. Pretty much what you did here.
Except it's hot. This is just, it tastes like
it's not hot.
It tastes like earth.
Yeah, it's
not good.
But that's why everything at Starbucks is caramel macchiato for, all these different flavors, because you have to mask that
I don't
crap.
understand how Starbucks got big if this is what their coffee tastes like. And I never have. I've never understood the phenomenon. I've never understood how there can be a Starbucks on every corner. I have literally, as I pull a giant hair.
Did you actually have a hair? Like, I kept
looking. That's my wife's hair.
Was that your wife's hair?
Yeah.
Oh, we hope so.
May not be.
I kept looking over and I'm like, I couldn't tell if it was like something in the glass or I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to let it go.
Yeah, no, it was a hair. Thanks for letting me know. I'm sitting there going, is it my hair? Because, I've got a full luscious
I didn't know if
hair.
you just grew that one hair out.
No. I don't know. It's still silly
That's
hat
all
day
right.
here.
Nobody's going to be able to see it. So,
right.
It's not silly hat. It's just hat day.
I don't know. Yours is pretty silly.
Whatever. You're just jealous you can't pull it off.
I don't want to pull that off. There are things in life I'm happy about. Like, I wake up in the morning and I thank God for a couple of things. That's the fourth thing I thank God for every morning.
The fourth?
Yeah.
No. Okay. To each their own. Yeah, whatever.
Maybe on a Tales from the Lounge, if you subscribe, if you become a supporter or buy me a coffee supporter, you can get Tales from the Lounge. Maybe on the next Tales from the Lounge. Should we just do a hat episode? Well, no, I'll tell you what 3 things I thank God for every morning.
Yeah. Okay.
So tune in for that.
I don't think people that pay you money are going to give a shit.
Buy me a coffee. .com/Simply Stogies podcast. Let's talk about this cigar.
Okay.
Because now it's starting to get a little bit more spicy.
Yeah.
I'm about halfway through.
Yeah, it's definitely picking up in spice. I'm definitely getting the wood tone that you were mentioning. I'm almost powered through this entire Vente 20 ounces of bullshit, so I can hopefully start enjoying this cigar.
I won't finish this coffee, but this cigar is pretty good so far. Like, it's more wood forward still for me than anything else. I like the spice at the beginning because it's a different kind of. It's like a lot of baking spices. It's a little bit of licorice, a little bit of star anise, if you will. It's a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg. So that's the spiciness. There was a little bit of grass, a little bit of hay, maybe dried grass.
Yeah, which that was right off the right off the bat.
Right off the bat,
that went away real fast. And then those wood tones or wood notes and the spice. That's probably what's there right now.
There's a little bit of chocolate, like
you said licorice. And I really
star anise.
I really don't know necessarily what that tastes like, but I can imagine
it's a strong, sharp flavor.
Right.
You've never had licorice before?
When I was a kid, but I mean, there's like something right
not
back
like Twizzlers. Here. I don't mean Twizzlers. I mean like honest to God licorice.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah, I never liked it when I was a kid, and I still don't think I would like regular licorice today.
Probably not.
But in small amounts, star anise is pretty good. Especially when
they sell that at Hy-Vee.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure it's in the baking spice aisle.
All right, I'll have to try it out.
Yeah.
Did you find out anything more about this? What is it? The
Pro Palette?
Pro Palette, yeah. Did you find out anything more about it? I know that a couple episodes ago you were talking about it.
So, no, Randy, who you'll remember a few episodes ago at the Queen City Cigar Fest, he bought one. And I haven't been able to go through it with him yet. Okay. Hopefully here in the near future. I'll let you know. I know he's going to set up something at Habano with some members, and he'll let me know when that's going on, and we'll see it. But we went through it at the Queen City Cigar Fest.
Okay.
And Damon went to the grocery store and just bought all of the ingredients that you could buy at the grocery store, like bread, nuts, chocolate, cinnamon. There were some other things that he bought, but you go through and you smell it, and when you smell something, you taste it, right?
Yeah.
So it calibrates your palate,
right?
And what's funny is going through this book, this Cigar Bliss, Demystifying the Art of Tasting by Nick Kutro. He talks about how Americans don't really know what food tastes like because all of our food is overly processed.
Oh, yeah.
All of our food is overly processed.
Right.
So unless you are going out of your way to spend a ton of money to buy organic, it's not even organic, it's got to be truly organic.
Right.
Like not genetically modified, has no preservatives, no additives, nothing. I mean, you just don't know what food tastes like. Yeah. Like, for example, Wonder Bread. Like, everybody knows what Wonder Bread tastes like. White bread, they know what it tastes like. Everybody has it.
Yeah.
And
was that your college nickname?
Right,
White bread?
White bread. Nobody knows what bread really tastes like anymore unless you bake your own bread at home. And even then, like, it depends on what type of flour you're using.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, depending on what ingredients you use to make the bread, because I've done that before. Picked up a bread maker and I was like, you know what, I'm going to make my own bread. But what I find out is that now I'm trying to replicate Wonder Bread because that's what I know.
Yeah. And that's really where it all started. It was after World War II. That's when all of these preservatives and additives really started to take off because they found that it's cheaper to make food with all of this stuff than to actually just use food products.
And it lasts longer.
And it does last longer. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably the big thing is how can I make
like
something
you can have a Twinkie last through the apocalypse.
Yeah, like what? It's got a 17-year shelf life or something like that.
Right. Which, I mean, and you see those all the time on, at least I do, because prepper stuff where it's like, here's some food that'll last 20 years in a box.
Right. And
like
20 years.
Like MREs.
And at year 19, if you haven't used it, you have to eat it. Otherwise, it's just a waste.
Oh, so yeah. And it's just gross to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just preservatives. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead, Tim. Let's rate the cigar and rate the coffee. Let's start with the Starbucks first. How was your Mocha Froca Bullshit Frappuccino?
It's exactly what you just said it was. It was a Mocha Froca Bullshit whatever. Yeah. Look, I don't even want to rate this coffee.
Just rate it. You've got to give it a number. 1 through 10.
2.
A 2. Wow. Rookie score. 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. 2.14.
Wow. All right. Well, broke twos. All right.
Yeah. No, it's not the worst thing on the planet because I have a feeling that's worse, right? But still, like, I'm not a fan of the company. I'm not a fan of the product. I just don't care.
I'm going to rate that literally a 0.8.
Yeah, which is probably no. Yeah,
it tastes like burnt. Mm-hmm. That's all it tastes like. It tastes like burnt. It doesn't taste like coffee. There's no nuance.
Like after a good night of camping, you took a log that's been burning all night and just licked it.
Yeah, but you don't even get that charred wood flavor. It's just burnt.
Yeah.
I
believe you.
It's not good. It's not good. I've said it before on the show and I'll say it again. Starbucks will never be a sponsor anyway.
Right.
It's like Folgers. Yeah, it's not good. When you can get easily much better coffee for half the price.
I would much rather
Janus
buy a
coffee
big ass bag of Sam's Club than drink this.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even your Sam's Club was better than this.
Yeah. Oh, it was better than that.
Yeah. Gross. Janus Coffee Roasters. This is what I would recommend. Or Be Bright Coffee.
Yep, Be Bright's a good one. There's a local coffee shop that somebody just gave me a bag and I can't remember what it was, and I put all the bean in the hopper, and I put the bag there because I wanted to take a picture of it or remember it or whatever and find more because it's pretty good. I don't think it's as good as Janus, but I was like, hey, you know what? I'll get some of this. The wife threw the bag away, and now I don't know what it is. So I got to find the person who gave me the coffee and figure it out, buy a bag, and then bring that. Something different, something new to try.
Something new, something different. Yeah, definitely stay away from the Starbucks. For sure. Let's rate this cigar. Because this is the Crown Heads 4 Capa Especial limited edition 2021.
I think we're going to do, you know what, we're going to do this again. We're going to make a tradition. You go to me first for the coffee, so we're just going to reverse it for the cigar. I'm going to let you go first.
Why, so you can copy me?
Yeah, that's exactly
what reminds me
what
of,
I'm going to do is I'm just going to either add or subtract a number, and then that's going to be my score. And in all fairness, it works. It is okay with this one, only because this just killed the whole experience for me.
It didn't kill the experience for me. I just sipped on the coffee and made sure I wasn't really drinking it a whole lot. But this is reminiscent of what I did in high school. We ran off a PE teacher one time. Let me tell you this story. I think I've told it on a Tales from the Lounge, so I'll tell everybody on this episode of Cigars and Coffee. The guy was trying to teach us about health during PE when really all we wanted to do was play basketball or crab soccer and fuck around.
Looking forward to the end of class C and I'll get in the shower. We know.
Right. Yeah. There's something wrong with you. Anyway, he made us run laps and then we had to calculate our pulse.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Whatever. Fairly simple. I didn't want to do it because I didn't give a shit. I was there to play basketball and fuck around for an hour, not learn anything during PE.
Right.
So I get behind the kid in class who does everything. He does everything that, everybody had that kid, did all the work.
Yeah.
Right. So I got right behind him. So we run the laps and he gets done and he takes his pulse and he's like 98. So I'm next in line. He comes and he's like, what's your pulse? I'm like 99. My brother's right behind me. He asks him, what's your pulse? 100. Goes down the line. It just goes 101, 102, 103.
Something's weird here.
He got so pissed at us. He's like, you little brats don't want to learn anything. I can't take this. Threw his clipboard down and walked out. It was amazing.
Yeah, that'd be worth it right there.
Yeah, it was absolutely worth it.
Like, hey, coach, if nothing else, you gave me memories I will cherish for the rest of my life.
What's funny is we got a PE teacher after that who made us play football, which was great. But then he wanted to pick the positions that we were going to play.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And he wanted us to actually play fucking football. We had basketball practice that night.
Yeah.
So none of us were trying to reserve our strength for basketball practice. This was back in the day before I got large and in charge. So he made us run because he didn't like what we were doing. He made us run for literally 45 minutes, the length of the soccer field and back.
Okay.
So that night at practice, coach is yelling at me because I was the captain. He's like, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with everybody tonight? Oh, just screaming at us. I'm like, coach, we ran the length of the soccer field for 45 minutes straight today. He goes, you did what?
Right.
I'm like, yeah. He's like, why? So I explained it to him. He's like, I'll be right back. He's like, shoot free throws or something. So we were shooting free throws. He goes up in the principal's office. He's in there for literally 10 minutes, comes back down. He goes, I'm your new PE coach.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, so we just played wiffle ball and fucking crab soccer for the rest of the semester. It was fantastic.
Right on.
Yeah. So that's what Tim's going to do with this cigar.
Excuse me while I go talk to your principal.
Right. I like Crown Heads a lot.
I do too.
I like the original Capa Especial blend, which I think is much different than the blend from the original Four Kicks. And I like the Four Kicks okay, but the Capa Especial just hits different, I think is what the kids say. I'm going to go with a 9.1.
I'm actually going to do exactly what I said I was going to do, and I'm going to subtract 1 point, do a 9-0 rookie. 9-0. And I apologize for that. I really wanted to be able to enjoy this more than I got to.
Yeah, I think if you pair it with something different, even just water, it might raise the score a couple points. But it's a phenomenal cigar. I really do like it. John Huber.
I can tell that this is a good cigar. I just didn't get to enjoy it the way I wanted to.
Yeah. Knocked it out of the park. Home run. So if you can find them, pick them up for $6 a pop.
Yeah, what is up with that?
I mean, when you put value into it, when you start adding value, this may be a 9.5, 9.6. because it's legitimately good.
Yeah, if you you're gonna add price point in there for sure. Yeah.
So there you go. Join
you
us.
Do an experience rating.
Overall experience rating. Well, if you're gonna do a mean score between the 9.1 and the 0.8,
You're saying we should probably skip that this episode.
Skip that because you're probably about in the 4 range, 4.5, 4.3, something like that.
Right in there. Yeah, not
skip the Starbucks, folks.
Skip it. Skip
the cigar, but don't skip the cigar. Cigar's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you tune in 2 weeks from now. YouTube, where you're watching this now, you know the channel. Hit that, smash that like button,
it, push it, bump
subscribe button, notification bell, all that bullshit that YouTube does. That's Tim. I'm James. Stay smoky, friends.